Ladies in the channel, allow me to talk to your men on this one. So sit back and relax and let the men take the 4 seats. Now men, have you ever psyched up for a woman and the D-Day is here and she has allowed you to pound the yam, and you have all these minds, all these thoughts in your head of how to satisfy her, and these thoughts are actually overwhelming to an extent that at some point you're even afraid that you might end up not satisfying her? That question is coming in because I want to enlighten you about something called sexual performance anxiety, or just sexual anxiety. Now, when you have all these minds, you have maybe watched porn, you've had sexual experiences with different women, and now you have this woman that you really like and you're thinking of how to satisfy her in bed. Chances are high you're going to disappoint, and the reason is this same word, because those thoughts are going to make you actually underperform or even misperform, for the lack of a better word. The reality is this: sexual performance anxiety is you having the fears. Actually, this is the definition: a combination of fears and worries in your mind just before a sexual experience. So imagine this: you want to perform sexually, you want to actually make sure that this woman gets multiple orgasms and even gets to squirt, and you're having all this pressure building up in your system because of that anxiety. Now this is going to send you into a bigger pit or a bigger hole, because as you think of ways to satisfy her, remember, she's an individual on her own and you don't know how to satisfy her. So you're just in your imaginations, in your thoughts. That's the devil talking to you. But the reality is this: understand that when you put the demands of a woman sexually ahead of your demands, you will end up in anxiety. You will end up not performing, because sex is, everybody is getting into this experience with selfish interests. A woman gets into it with selfish interests to get an orgasm, and you're getting there with selfish interest to actually get an ejaculation. But because of the nature of the society, that if you ejaculate faster, you are labeled a 1-minute man. So you have this pressure to actually perform for more than 20 minutes so that you can actually thump your chest. And I know when a man is actually in the moment of pounding a yam, you are carrying a whole generation on your back. So you want to prove a point so that you don't disapprove, you don't disappoint the generations that you're carrying. But the reality is this: understand that you cannot make a woman to orgasm. There is no man who has the capability of making a woman to get an orgasm. Women allow men to get them orgasm. So women are the ones who actually give you permission to give them an orgasm. That's why the same woman that you're busy pounding for 1 hour and she doesn't experience anything, she still labels you 1-minute man, is the same woman who will get satisfaction on a quickie. Have you ever thought about it that way? Some other guy will have her on a quickie and she'll be so satisfied sexually. But you're busy here pounding her for 1 hour and she still labels you a 1-minute man because you did not give her an orgasm or did not make her squat. So when you just put her demands forward, that becomes a problem, because you'll get into anxiety that will actually make you underperform. This is the moment where you start having the moment you start pounding the yam, and maybe a minute into it, your penis starts to shrink and retract out of the organ, and now you start getting more and more disappointed. And as you get more disappointed and more pressure, you will never be able to satisfy her in that bed. She'll blame you and you'll blame yourself, and more anxiety. Number 2, most men, they have sex with one woman and in their mind they ejaculate with another woman. That is sexual anxiety, because you have all these things in your head that you really want to practice on this woman, but you don't know her threshold level. You don't know where she'll get an orgasm. So you're trying to figure out what to do to actually make sure she gets an orgasm or multiple orgasms or a squirt. And as you do that, you're busy trying to scan the best porn videos. You're busy trying to scan the best sex episodes and the best lady that you've had sex with. And you're trying to use that lady to actually get an ejaculation on this one, because you are not connected as emotionally with this one. So that is an evil move. However, for you to manage this, 1, as you involve yourself in any sexual experience, get off the pressure by putting your needs ahead. Like literally, do not go there for just an ejaculation. Go there and enjoy the process. Listen to yourself, listen to the woman, just enjoy the process. Make it a process. Don't make it an instant thing. That is 1. Number 2, take your time on a foreplay. Most of you just want to climb and that's it. So take your time on a foreplay, because as you do that, you're actually trying to distract yourself from the need to ejaculate, and your mind settles down, and now you can actually listen to the events that are actually happening throughout this process. Also, semen retention is a very good thing. You see, semen retention helps you understand that sex is not about ejaculation, it's about an orgasm. And an orgasm and an ejaculation for a man are totally two different things. That feeling of good is what we call an orgasm, and that release is what we call an ejaculation. So an ejaculation takes about 2-3 seconds or so, but an orgasm can take about 30 seconds or so. So if you have sex, you get that feel good effect, and then you hold back and then it goes back. That can be actually considered as a double orgasm. So you have these two good feelings instead of just releasing it, because one, post-nut clarity. Anytime you ejaculate, you start looking at this woman and thinking, oh, this was the worst choice ever. Now you start seeing her having those that pot belly, she has these sagging tits and all that, and now you start thinking, oh, this was the wrong decision, and that will send you into anxiety. Therefore there's no coming back. Okay, and now you resent this woman, you just want her to leave. And most men know that after that ejaculation, you don't want this woman there, because now your mind is clear. You're chasing the wrong things, but because the need to ejaculate was ahead of you, you did not become honest with this woman. And now that you've ejaculated and the need is gone, you start seeing the bigger picture and the broader picture, so you don't want her there anymore. But they're not bold enough to tell you this. Some of you are married and you have sex with your wife, and immediately you ejaculate, you don't want that wife there, you just want to sleep. And that's the moment the woman wants you to speak to her, you wants you to cuddle and all that, but you have to build a wall around you by getting angry. So I'm actually trying to help you to actually beat this, because sexual performance anxiety is now a major cause of erectile dysfunction. People are actually suffering erectile dysfunction when they are just healthy, but it's all about the pressure that is building up in their heads. So you have to overcome this by practicing semen retention, practicing making sex more of a process than just a quick fix, and also putting your interests forward. Because again, if you put the needs, if you make sex about the woman, it becomes a problem to you, because you'll have now the pressure to actually conform to what that woman wants, and you don't know. This is the reason why most of you will always go down and lick the perineum. You're busy trying to do all these things, applying saliva and doing all these things, rubbing ladies' clitoris, so that you can actually facilitate her orgasm. Just remember, even if you do all those things, until she allows you to make her get an orgasm, it is not going to happen. So I thought you should know, because this is something that is actually coming up in our youth and is becoming a serious problem. And now that we cannot avoid talking about the topic of sex, because now sex has become meaningless, we need to actually keep on fixing. However, if you start practicing semen retention, you'll even realize that it wasn't even necessary for you to do those escapades of sex all the time. And this is actually happening in people who have multiple sex partners. So because you have many, you don't know how to satisfy all of them, and now you have to find means, and this will lead you to taking those medications, the Viagra and all that. So do not do that. Simply go there, ease yourself. It is not a life and death thing. Just go there and enjoy yourself, relax, and see what happens to you. But most importantly, start practicing semen retention. It will save you a lot of issues. I thought you should know.